So the Wizards still haven't hired a replacement for Ernie. Now, maybe it's going to be someone in-house like Tommy Shepard, or maybe they're waiting for the guy from Toronto. I don't know.
I believe the draft is a week from today.
Draft is
I was curious about that. You guys being down there, what are they reporting down there that like they're doing?
It's been pretty quiet on that front.
Yeah, because that's like a national, from a national perspective too. Like because we talk about all these job openings and jobs that are being filled and whatnot, and people think because I played there, they're like, well, what's going on? Like you should know. And I said, there's nothing coming out of there. Like it's really quiet, and the draft is a week from today.
Legs, there's been some speculation that Ted is trying to lure Ujiri here with maybe like an ownership piece. That's hasn't been substantiated, but that's kind of floating around.
Yeah, but
other than that, it's been quiet.
Who's going to make the pick?
Well, see, that's the thing is that is one thing that's been floated out there is like it's taking so long. That must mean they're interested in talking to someone from the two teams that are still playing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which I guess would make sense but man, yeah, you are taking this thing down pretty close to a very important draft for the Wizards, and it's just in general this time of year, free agency is July 1st. Like there's a lot going on here in the next couple of weeks.
So true or false, you were never called by the Wizards to come in for an interview or anything like that?
No, I was not.
Would you have been open to that?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think, look, I love what I do, and it's been phenomenal. I got a great job, and I love it, and, I could probably do this for the rest of my life. But there's also challenges competitively that I'm always interested in coaching, whether it's coaching, college or NBA front office. Like those are things that definitely intrigue me.
I was going to say you would probably be pretty good at it. I mean, you know the league really well. It's a different animal, but you know the league.
Yeah, it's different, but I think the bottom line is I think if you're smart and you have a good work ethic, I think that's the key. I think the guys that know what they're watching, know what a winning basketball team looks like and the pieces and how they fit. The other stuff is just learning the job. But I think the art of knowing the pieces, the proper pieces to fit together to make a winning team, I don't think everybody can do that. I think that's something that you got to have an eye for. And so that I think I pride myself in being able to do that. And I think when I get to talk on the air at ESPN, hopefully that comes across. Like I know what that looks like. It's also, I think, from a coaching perspective as well. I always have. Like that's just the way my mind works. I'm always looking at it from a coach, the way a coach would view it, and I think that it would help you do a job like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you mentioned KD. Man, just so devastating for the guy. And I heard what Jalen Rose said, that he watched him in the warm-ups or the practice leading up to it and didn't look very good. And I didn't see it, so I don't know what he was looking at. Rose said he was gimping around. I find it hard to believe he was gimping around and the team would let him play, but he saw it. I didn't. But he re-injures that. Obviously, tears is going to be out a year. How did you feel about that decision going in for him to play? He looked pretty good in the 12 minutes he played. He was lighting up. What do you think?
Yeah, I said all along that we were not going to see Kevin Durant unless Kevin Durant felt pretty much close to normal, like 100%. And the problem, and he did. But see, here's the thing: there's a difference between feeling 100% and being 100%. There's a big difference because, being 100%, that was going to take a certain amount of time. And putting it through maybe a couple of more rigorous practices. And in the regular season, you'd have time to do that. They pick a couple of days. And even in the regular season, those days are spread out when you're actually going hard in practice and you can get like a 45-minute scrimmage in. But you'd be able to find those days, and he would have taken another 2 or 3 weeks. There's no question in my mind because there's no urgency. Okay, but he got to a point where he didn't have any stiffness. He didn't have any pain. He felt like he had full range of motion. Even the stuff he was doing before the game, I don't know what Jalen was talking about and what he saw because I wasn't at the facility, but people that were there that I've talked to and, even people with the Warriors staff, like he looked normal. And even if you go back, I thought it was pretty interesting. The little video they ran of him in the tunnel when he was dancing around.
Yeah, right.
Okay, you remember that? Now, the last part of that, the last thing he did, the last movement he made, he did like I guess I would describe it as like a scissor kick where his left foot came forward, his right foot went back, full extension, full plant, full flexion on his right Achilles and calf.
Yeah.
I mean, go look at it. It was a really super sharp movement. So he could do something like that with absolutely no pain, no stiffness, no anything. In his mind, it was good enough to go. So I don't have a problem with him trying to do that based on the circumstances, and guys live for doing guys like that. They want that stage, man. You know, if you don't come back and make an appearance, if you think you're okay, you just let a whole playoff season go by and a finals go by that you didn't participate in, and you're trying to win a ring. So I had no problem with him giving it a try, and there's a flukishness to this whole thing that no doctor or anybody else can tell you why it happened, predict that it was going to happen, or anything else. You go by what the player is telling you it feels like, and the doctors then saying, as far as we're concerned, we don't see anything there. Mm-hmm. And he's saying it feels good, then we back him playing. And that's why I think we should leave it there and not second-guess it.